His is a story many of you will no doubt remember. 6 years ago, the life of triathlete Mhlengi Gwala was forever changed while he was out cycling.
It was an attack as brutal as it was inexplicable, leaving Mhlengi with lasting physical and psychological trauma.
6 years on, he's slowly turning tragedy into triumph, displaying astonishing courage and perseverance in the process.
I cried the most when I'm telling my story. The only thing I remember, they said I won't be able to compete again.
Gwala is facing a long period of recovery of almost 2 years. The doctors weren't certain that he would be able to return to the sport he loved.
I'm here today, I'm still competing.
It's a story that still sends shivers down my spine when I think about it. 6 years ago, a young triathlete, during one of his training sessions, was brutally attacked by unknown assailants. Now, for reasons unknown, these attackers had a chainsaw and attempted to saw off his leg while he was wide awake. That athlete's name is Mhlengi Gwala. On an early morning in March 2018, 3 people pulled Mhlengi from his bike, dragged him into a nearby bush, and violently assaulted him.
So I was trying to fight, and I was crying, screaming, and see that chainsaw like rolling and go to my leg.
So brazen, so brutal was the incident that it made national and even international headlines. Why had his attackers seemed so determined to sever his leg? Bleeding profusely, Mhlengi crawled to the main road and flagged down a passing security van. After hours of surgery, his leg was saved. And remarkably, he made a strong recovery in the year after the attack, even competing in international triathlons, winning one. But his relief would be short-lived. In late 2019, just over 18 months after the attack, a dull pain developed in his leg.
It started with a small sore, so it kept growing. I was going in and out in hospital.
Bona, what were they doing when you were in hospital?
I had a rod inside the bone. First time they opened, then they took the rod out because the rod was starting to rust by the knee. So then they tried to clean the wound, clean everything, because there was a big wound on my ankle.
The initial reconstruction using metal rods and pins was no longer working, and Mhlengi was told he'd developed an infection that was devouring his leg. So then they say you must amputate. You accept that decision?
Not as accept as, but
you understand that?
I understand, yeah. I couldn't fight with it because it was the only option that I only had.
Kwahamba isikhathi sathi uyahila kwavela sikunyanga yasekwa ngayibuza ukuthi inkosi yami kanti yini izobe isalunga nje lengane.
His mother, Bafundi Magwaza, found it hard to process the trauma of her son losing his leg, on top of the vivid memories of the days after the attack.
Ngangadli isonto lonke sisi ngikhule kaNkulunkulu ngoba ngangazi icala lami likuphi.
It took months for Mhlengi's wound to finally close. Still passionate about sports, he had to learn to walk and then run with a prosthesis. Talk to me about the process of not just healing, but then getting prosthetics fitted and learning a new way of moving in life.
Oh, that was a hard one. I was there in 𝗀𝗀𝗆𝗀𝗆, so the first time when they're gonna make your leg, so they have to mold it first. So there's a special bandage that they have to do. You have to bandage on the stump for a month or so to shape it, and then they take a mold, and then they make a leg. And then when I came in to fit it, couldn't make it.
What do you mean?
I was crying. Because there's pressure, you have to fit in. So my step is still new.
Too painful.
It's too painful. I can't even walk.
Mhlengi pushed through the pain, growing accustomed to his prosthetic leg. 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗏 was at his side, fitting his legs at no cost.
Slow it down, let's have a look. He's special. He's a real motivation. I mean, the community's rallied behind him. It's just a great story. I mean, it's a Durban story. It's our story.
Ah,
it's our story.
Own that. I like that.
Gwala from South Africa coming through.
Mhlengi later set his sights on getting back into the saddle and now competes in international triathlon events. While training, he often rides past the site of his vicious attack.
How do you feel when you pass here?
No, I just took the place and there's nothing I can change. I can't feel bad, I can't feel happy. It happened, it's in the past, so I can still remember, but not in the bad way, so.
How do you feel about the fact that they were never found?
I'm not upset, I'm not happy. I'm okay.
It's a pragmatic, even impressive answer, but it hides the anger Mhlengi clearly feels towards the people who attacked him and the frustration with those meant to bring them to justice. In fact, frustration has become a theme in Mhlengi's life. Just last year, having bounced back so courageously from the attack, he was dealt yet another blow.
Athi ngiyahamba manje. Athi ngiyosika unyawo lwesibili ngathi no. Akanti akwazeki lokho. Ngathi ithemba lami lokugcina lelo nyawo.
While working as a lifeguard in eThekwini, a section of the shower block collapsed on top of him, badly injuring his good leg.
It took me 6 months.
The walls fell on you?
Yeah, it took me more than 6 months to close. I was in that vacuum machine, you know, that machine that you, for the wound, for more than 6 months. Smelling like a human being can smell. Smelling. I was so thin.
In hospital, with a wound that was severely infected and not healing, once again, it was his mother who held him firmly.
She's very strong, Sheme. So she was so strong for that day until today. So that woman, she's...
Awomathi kukhonta ebuhlungu kuyena kuba buhlungu kakhulu kumina. Ngiyawuthwala umthwalo wakhe. Kakhulu sisi. Ngizwe ukuthi yabona namhlanje nami ngithi ngiyahamba endleleni ngicine ngazazi noma ngiyaphi noma ngenzani ngoba ngisuke ngithwele umthwalo wakhe.
His good leg eventually healed. Mhlengi went back to training, taking the ordeal as just another challenge.
How would you describe the last 6 years of your life?
I can say 50-50. Challenging, good, happiness, sadness, lots of tears.
Most people wouldn't be able to face the trauma Mhlengi has endured. He is so committed to being an elite international athlete that losing his leg hasn't deterred him. He now has his sights firmly set on the 2024 Paralympic Games in Paris.
To qualify for the global showpiece in France, Mhlengi has to accumulate sufficient points across a series of remaining races.
Yo, Mhlengi, that's a lot of pressure. Don't you feel a bit stressed about that?
It is, because most of the events, they happen in Europe. So you're traveling, money on it, stress on it, training. So to travel alone, you lose lots of energy on the plane and you get there tired. So, yeah, but I will make it.
No, I trust you're going to make it. That's what I'm not shocked about it.
As Mhlengi marches forward to the future, he continues to show his determination and that nothing can stand in his way.
So, Mama, what is your big wish now going forward for impilo yakhe?
Sisi ngifisa into ezinkulu kabi. Akufuna ngenhliziyo nangoba noma uyahamba emeyogijima ngikhuleka zabuye.
I'm that kind of person that I will always find a way. I'm so in love with sports, so there's always a way to do sports.
Sure, Claire, inspiration doesn't begin to describe it. I'm really tearing up. What's one thing that stands out for you, having spent that time with Mhlengi?
You know what I loved about Mhlengi is that throughout our time with him, he really wanted to drive home the point that he's only able to do what he does through the support of his community. So obviously Durbanites were devastated at the attack, but they've come through for him. You must remember the prosthetic, the bike he rides, the flights, entrance into the races that he participates in have all been made possible through community support. So Durban, be proud, you have come through for one of your own. Love that.
Beautiful, inspiring indeed. And we're reading all your comments and contributions on our social media platforms. Please do share your messages of hope for Mhlengi using #CarteBlanche.